Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's edition of NASCAR 07 on the channel. We are Truck Series racing with our custom schedule season once again, back-to-back nights. Tonight, we are racing at Michigan for the running of the Michigan 200. We have a 100 lap race for you guys, 200 miles today. Pretty quick one on the season. This is likely going to be a one-stop race, I'd have to imagine, based off of pit strategy. And we'll see if it'll maybe even be a fuel mileage race, as we tend to see at Michigan, especially in the pre-stage racing era. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We are running this race tonight, and we come in with a very narrow points lead. Last night we ended up racing at Texas. Didn't have as good of a run as we would have hoped. Honestly, we were covering... Yeah, I think we're good now. OBS just disconnected and reconnected on me. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Slight lag. Hopefully we don't have any more issues with that. Anyway, what I was talking about, we got a narrow points lead coming into the race today. Texas didn't... Oh, my gosh. We lagging again? Or was it just the one time? I'm confused. You'll have to let me know in the chat if we end up keep having those issues. I might have to restart my laptop. It's kind of acting funky since I had it crash on me the other day during the live commentary of the Cup race. We're good? Alright, well that's good. Alright, yeah, let's get on into this race here today. As far as the point standings go, Todd Bodine has a 38-point lead over Ron Hornaday. Bobby Hamilton is now just 98 points out of first. Hans Good coming off his 4th win of the season. All 4 have come on mile-and-a-half racetracks. We'll see if a 2-mile track will be good for him as well, with it still being an intermediate track. We qualified 17th, starting mid-pack. Hopefully we have a faster truck in the race. Our first truck race at Michigan on NASCAR 07 is underway. We did run a Busch Series race here already, and we got the win with Jimmy Johnson in that one, and we'll see if we can win this truck race here today. I did qualify much better, though, with Johnson. Hopefully, we've got speed 3 wide off the start, off turn 2 already. Couple trucks getting together, a lot of contact. The 164 and the 128. Bodine did not take off well on the start. He was having that issue a lot in the Texas race. I did make a slight wedge adjustment from qualifying into the race. Tried to snug it up a little bit so it wasn't going to be too free. We don't want the same issue we had last night. Ron Hornaday will lead the opening lap of the race in the 33 truck. That's massive for him, considering how much he was able to close. He was 116 points back of Bodine going into the Texas race last night. Hornaday finished 6th, and it was a 32nd place finish for Todd Bodine, tying his worst finish of the season. Bill Lester in the 22 truck, taking the race lead, getting into 3 and 4. Todd Bodine kind of stuck in line right now. Oh, a lot of contact there with Scott Legacy. He's trying to side draft him. He got into him. Got to make sure we don't get too loose too many times into the run. Got to minimize any sort of contact so that way the truck can sustain over the course of the long run. Contact from behind with the 2 teammates of Scott Legacy Jr. and Timothy Peters there. Big run in the outside lane down the backstretch for Todd Bodine. He's got a truck underneath him into turns 3 and 4. I don't know if he's going to be able to actually complete this pass on the outside, but he's going to attempt it. Gets a decent run off the exit turn 4, a little side draft, and he will complete a pass on the top. Well done for Todd Bodine. Wade Solinsky, Bentley Potts, thanks for tuning in. Packer schedule stuff, I didn't look at it. Underneath Ted Musgrave, who blew an engine in last night's race, falling outside the top 15 of points. Well, his teammate still leads the championship. Todd's making some passes. As long as he can stay in the draft with other trucks, I think he'll be okay down these longer straightaways. That was really what costed him in qualifying. The truck doesn't have a lot of straightaway speed. But more with the downforce and the stability side of things. So that way he'd have handling. Because that's what cost him last night at Texas. He had raw speed, but didn't have the handling to go with it. Forcing his way underneath the 109 as he tries to make a pass through turns 1 and 2. Barely clear. Kind of forced his way clear. Turn 39. Well, happy birthday. Bodine pulling to the outside through the tri-oval. Trying to side draft the 123 a bit. Made a pass on the top, but it was through 3 and 4. 1 and 2, it's not going to happen. Can't even stay alongside the 123 that time. Hornaday back out in front again as well. Really hoping he doesn't settle in. Mike George, thanks for tuning into the stream. Yeah, Michigan be my home track. I love this track too. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if we've got the speed today. We had speed yesterday, no handling. We've got the handling today and not as much speed. A bit concerning. It's tough. Every time I pull out a line down the straightaways, I just can't really make passes once we got a few laps into the restart. Picked up 3 spots from the start of the race. Pull back down towards the bottom. Side drafting. He could stay underneath into the corner. He'd have a chance to make a pass. And he will be able to stay underneath. And he's got to make sure he's clear off the exit of turn 2. He's getting held very tightly in the center of the corner, but he will complete the pass and he's back into 13. One truck has just blown an engine and has made their way to pit road. We'll alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. Willie Wonka, thanks for tuning in. Oof. Mark DeMars, welcome to the stream. It's amazing how bunched together the field is in the top 13 right now. No help behind Todd Bodine on the straightaways, just trying to make it up the trucks in front of him, and I think that's one of the main reasons why he hasn't really been able to make many passes once we got a few laps into this restart, or the initial start, I should say. Gets to the inside off turn 4. Got Craig Kinzer right in front of him. He's drafting off of. Craig Kinzer was side drafting somebody else as well. Bodine got to be clear. Got to make the passes earlier in the run too, because the risk of the truck getting aero loose if somebody's tucked underneath the back bumper in the center of the corner, even if there's no contact, could be huge today as well. Just like it was at Texas later in those runs. Hornaday consistently leading. There's been a lot of lead changes in the early laps of this race, though, I will say. Big run right now in the trioval for Bodine, but he's kind of stuck behind David Reagan. Barely clear. Up into the wall, and then contact. Got ran into from behind once he bounced off the wall. Truck is okay. It's a freak thing. It's allowed that lead pack to get away just a little bit. Still has a truck alongside of him too, which is not good. So that's only going to slow Bodine down a little bit more, and he'll drop in line behind the 123 again. Only 2 seconds off the lead. Oh, stack up off turn 2 and into the back of the 6 of David Reagan. That's exactly what happened at Texas last night. That was a carbon copy of what happened on the backstretch at Texas, where he ran into the back of David Reagan, turned him back into the field after there was a near accident in front of Bodine off the exit of turn 2. That is unbelievable that that has happened 2 races in a row now. Wow. And that will be sending the 30 truck to the back of the field. Problems for the points leader, Todd Bodine. +7 seconds of damage on this racetrack. There was nowhere to go. It happened so quick at these high speeds at this 2-mile oval. And problems for Todd Bodine. I don't know. I didn't see sparks. They just kind of slowed down, but I would imagine a couple trucks made contact off the exit of the corner. Or somebody got in the wall. They all started checking up. Green flag back in the air. And with Todd Bodine being at the tail end of the field here, this could be problematic. I would not be surprised if we see some debris cautions in the fallout of that. With the caution flags, should more likely make this a one-stop race. It was already looking like it was going to be a one-stopper anyway, but it's only, in my opinion, further guarantees it. And there's the debris caution on the backstretch. That will be our second caution of the race now. And the debris is off of David Reagan. Michael Turner, thanks for tuning in. And I believe everybody else just hit pit road. Todd Bodine going to stay out. He'll be the leader on the restart. Was not expecting the field to pit there. Makes me wish I would have waited a little bit. That's got to get 5 bonus points for the 30 truck. But now he's on older tires and he's already getting motivated around down the backstretch. Looked like there was contact off turn 2 with a couple trucks on the outside again. Look at how far back they all stacked up, getting into 3 and 4. And it's about a 6 or 7 truck breakaway now. Hornaday lost the lead. The caution coming out. Bodine trying to block Bill Lester. Lester's going to get underneath him. Oh, and he cleared high way too early. Big block by Bill Lester. He cleared up way too soon, and he ended up clipping the 30. Both trucks get into the outside wall. We stay green. Man, oh man. I don't know what that was. Oh, jeez. If he just would have waited a split second later, he had the speed. He was going to be able to clear Todd Bodine, and he obviously moved up way too quick. I like how he's a rival now, even though it was clearly his fault. Amazing how far back these guys fell off the leaders now. I'm thinking it's a two-stop race also, because we hit halfway at lap 24, and that's even with the cautions. Yeah, I think you're right. That's probably why everybody pitted, but the problem is we still have to make an extra stop. So we're going to need another caution at some point. Sooner the better, obviously, for Todd Bodine, so he can get fresh tires back on the race truck again. Because he just can't keep up. Hornaday's out in front. That's the driver who's got to be liking this the most. I mean, the good news is for Todd Bodine, he was able to lead some laps under caution. The bad news is Hornaday's back in the lead, and with how far apart the field got strung out off this last restart, the likelihood of being able to hold on to that lead and maybe get the most laps led by the end of the race is only going to grow a little bit more as well. And there are definitely some trucks that are starting to haul the mail closing in on Bodine, who's got the older tires. To the bottom, and he did. Sorry for that lag again. OBS keeps disconnecting and reconnecting on me randomly. Should be back now. I don't know why it's doing that. Wasn't doing that last night. At least the draft is allowing Bodine to save a little bit more fuel. The problem is I don't think he can keep up with it. I don't think it's the internet cables. I think it's my laptop, honestly, after it crashed this last weekend. It was kind of running slow with OBS up anyway, which doesn't help. Just need a new laptop. I know that's going to run me a bunch of money. I mean, there's not really anything Tom Bodine can do. That truck's passed him on the top and the bottom. Quite a bit of damage. Wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, it's product of being stuck mid-pack. Something like that happened when he was running in 12th. Had nowhere to go. Caught up in the accident. He does have older tires, obviously, right now, which aren't helping either, but he is 12 seconds off the lead and back at 14th again. That was a little early of a block. And then ricocheted up into the 101 as well. Now that was a near accident that I almost caused that time. Pulled a Bill Lester. I just moved down too early. Saw a hole and it just wasn't big enough. Not a good streak going on for Tom Bodine between last night's race at Texas and the first half of today's race at Michigan. 5 races to go in the race for the championship after this one. And our next 2 races coming up on 1.5 miles. Atlanta and Las Vegas. Followed by a trip back to Martinsville, California. And then to round the season off at Talladega. One truck pulling out of line, looking to make a pass. They're closing in on another truck for position. Despite how much the positions that these guys are battling for has changed hands over the last few laps. Bodine back to 14th now. Take a quick field pass here with Ted Musgrave, who is in the 28th place position. About to drop back to 29. Timothy Peters trying to work his way around Musgrave. We'll cross over by Musgrave to get to the inside of the 4. And it'll work. Ted's ripping through some trucks. Now, he wasn't caught up in an accident, so this truck is handling a lot better than mine. Granted, he pitted during the last caution, so he does have fresher tires too. That obviously also helps. Musgrave up to 22nd though as he's moving forward. Still winless on the year. Bodine's still on the same tires that he started the race off with as well. On that outside lane. Had a truck underneath him. Good run in the draft behind the 106. Gonna stay out one more lap. We're gonna pit at lap 42. a caution came out now, that would be a little bit better for us versus when we're a lap down. Nobody else is lap down on the racetrack, so we'd get the free pass if we got a caution that way. And Todd is going to be on his way to pit road this time. 4 tires and fuel. And a speeding penalty is not going to help him either. 1 mile per hour over the limit, that's all it took. No adjustments here, 4 tires and fuel. Man. Error compacted after error, whether they've been self-inflicted or just in the wrong place at the wrong time. 2 nights in a row, a struggle for Todd Bodine, and what was once a quick 116-point lead after Hornaday blew an engine in the second to last race we ran, which was back at Homestead. Instead, he may end up with the points lead again just 2 races after his DNF. I mean, the only way that doesn't really hurt us is if we do end up getting a caution while we're a lap down anyway, because we'd be in the free pass position regardless. But otherwise, a 5-second penalty. That is going to keep us out of drafting help range, which is not good. Drive-through penalty. Not in this game. They just dock you 5 seconds. 1 mile per hour over the limit. I saw 71 right as it changed, too. So close. Todd Bodine now having the freshest tires in the field in this situation. I know of the EA Sports games that I have played, it is a 5-second penalty every time. I've never played NASCAR 08 or NASCAR 09 though, so I wouldn't know there. Yeah, Carl Edwards going to be in the booth this weekend. For Stage 2, Bill Elliott. The final stage, I think Richard and Kyle Petty both in Stage 1. Hornaday continues to lead laps at Michigan. He has not won a race since the season opener at Daytona. And for the second straight race, Todd Bodine having problems. This time, though, it is not because of the handling of the race truck, but the damage that he had after being in traffic after not qualifying quite as well as he would have wanted in those early laps. Only got up to 12th after starting 17th when that caution came out. And even on the older tires, it kind of settled in right between like 12th to 15th anyway. That might be about where we are on speed in this race too. Smokey in the Pot, Philip Moore, thanks for tuning in. I have not played any of the Technic NASCAR games. Nope. No, I never got the chance to play any of those games, really. just played all the classic EA games for the most part growing up, because I had those. I had a couple of them. Specifically NASCAR 05 and NASCAR 07 for like the longest time, so I never bought any of the new ones. The next newest game I would have bought would have been NASCAR Heat Evolution. And then like the entire Heat series. But yeah, I never played any of the U-Technics games, so that'll be interesting when that time comes around. Well, they're not all going to be in the booth at the same time. They're going to be rotating every stage. Well, we're halfway home. Hornaday leads. He has easily led the most laps today. On strategy, Bodine was able to get 5 bonus points by staying out of the pits. It's kind of unintentional. I really wish I would have pitted with them. Honestly, didn't know they were all going to pit at once. I kind of spammed through the don't pit selection, just automatically thinking everybody was going to stay out. I didn't think it was going to be a 2-stop race at first. I was thinking, especially with all the early cautions, the 2 that we had, that it'd easily stretch into a 1-stop race. That just wasn't going to be the case. So everybody will have to pit one more time. And Bodine's just going to have a caution at some point. I'm moving. Did I say that? I might have said that on stream. Honestly, can't remember if I did or not. I've been kind of trying to be hush-hush about it. I didn't want to say anything quite yet. Honestly, with no drafting help, though, Todd Bodine's really not making up any ground on these fresher tires. He's actually losing ground to the leaders. Just doesn't have quite as quick of a truck. The damage, I'm sure, not helping whatsoever either. That speeding penalty obviously cost them an additional 5 seconds. Really making matters even worse. First NASCAR game was 98 or 99. And my first was NASCAR Thunder 2002. I think we're just going to have to keep dealing with OBS disconnecting and reconnecting. I'm sorry for that quick lag. Luckily, it doesn't take very long for it to come completely back. Hate that it has to do that. I literally get the pop-up icon every time that happens, too, that says OBS is disconnected and reconnected successfully. Within like 5 seconds. Alright, well, so we've got some pit stops going on right now. Second of the day. Todd Bodine going to run this out as long as he can. Hornaday is also trying to do the same so that way he can lead as many laps as possible. He's got to be careful though, staying out too long. He may lose the lead depending on how much tire fall off there is. Haven't seen as much, at least out of this 30 truck tonight at Michigan versus what we saw at Texas yesterday. Hornaday going to stay out of the pits again. Oh! Or maybe he did pit. He either just pitted or maybe he has a problem. I don't know. Tough to tell for sure. Bobby Hamilton Sr. is just taking the lead. I didn't think Hornaday pitted off turn 4 that last lap, but maybe he did. Second time Bobby Hamilton has led laps tonight. So he would have already had 5 bonus points. There's Hornaday in the 33, so yes, he did already pit. '18 wasn't that far behind him, though. Caution is out, but I don't think Bodine was in the free pass position. That's the caution he needed, but because it was in the middle of green flag stops, I don't think he's going to get his lap back. He needed that to cycle through all the way, or it had to come out before the stops, and it did not. We got a slide by the 103 truck bringing out the caution. He made a great save, though. He was pretty far sideways, but I don't think he hit the wall. Well, Bodine's definitely going to pit and take fresh tires here, whether he's on the lead lap or not. That has, I believe, trapped Ron Hornaday a lap down, though. I do think that the 18 truck of Bobby Hamilton Sr. did lap the 33, Ron Hornaday. You can see all the lead lap trucks coming to pit road at the front of the field, and then here comes Todd Bodine to top off as well. Oh, yeah, definitely going to Michigan this year. I want to go to Chicago for the streak race as well. I'm looking at trying to go to the Indy 500 in a few weeks, too. Sonoma. And Vegas. It's kind of what I'm looking at this year. Bristol. Going back, I just haven't been to many races so far this year. I'll be at more later in the season. Alright, well, just gonna shake the running order up a little bit. Definitely still lap down. Gonna have to try to find a way to get into the free pass position. Hornaday is in 34th place, right behind Ron Hornaday for the restart. That is unbelievable. This is huge for Bobby Hamilton, who's on the lead lap still, because there's not many trucks that are on the lead lap. Unless Hornaday took the wave around, which is possible, depending on where he was on the track. That might be why he restarted behind Bodine. Yeah, that passed now for position. So I think Hornaday might have taken the wave around. I was not in a position to be able to do so. Considering I was going to have to pit one more time for the end of the race anyway. Oh. A big run all of a sudden there. Major block in the center of the tri-oval. Almost making contact in the middle of 1 and 2 at the truck to the inside. Todd Bodine. This truck just can't clear Bodine right now. Bodine going really wide through 3 and 4. Now he'll get cleared. By one truck, but not the other. Trying to cling on to the draft, I just don't think it's possible right now with how slow Todd Bodine's truck is with all the damage. It definitely seems to be holding him up quite a bit. Back in 34th. Pass per position. There's definitely positions to be had. Can't just give up here. Delbert Wilson, thanks for tuning in. I don't think I'm going to Mid-Ohio this year. Even though it's not that far of a drive for me. I went for the IndyCar race last year too. Oh my gosh. A bad block by that 151 truck almost caused a wreck as they were already 3 wide. Get back down to the bottom in the middle of 1 and 2, right in front of his teammate of Ted Musgrave. Got a fantasy truck leading right now. It's like they're 4 wide off the exit. Turn 4. Oh no, we got a oh, big hit, big hit. Oh my goodness, there was somebody blowing up on the apron as Bodine went down there. Didn't see that truck until the last second, and it was too late to pull out of the way. That is caution number 4. That was terrible timing. The one time I go down there trying to break the draft from the trucks behind me, and I clobbered somebody that blew an engine trying to get out of the way. And we've got a caution late in this race, and that's even more damage to the front of this 30. I don't even know how we're running after that hit. That was massive. That was a big hit. Well, I'd like to go back to Phoenix this year. No guarantees on that one, but I'd like to. Phoenix is very beautiful. The facility at the track, too, is top 3 of tracks I've been to, facility-wise. Like, not talking, racing and favorite racetrack itself, but the upkeep in the facility. Pretty good. Alright, well, time for another restart. Whatever speed that this 30 truck of Todd Bodine did have might be lost now. We'll see. Green flag going to be back in the air. And we are down to just 27 laps to go. 33rd again for Todd Bodine right now. I wonder if Ted Musgrave's on the lead lap. He restarted in the outside lane. I think he may be on the lead lap. We'll have a field swap when we get to the start-finish line this time. Todd's going to lose this 163 truck. 26 to go. Ted Musgrave is scored at 14th right now. A lot of trucks in front of him. Oh my goodness, there's a big moment there with the truck not that far up in front. Lost a couple spots there. I lifted. I was in what felt like danger there for a second. Musgrave lost a couple spots, falling back to 16th. Desperately trying not to lose the draft from these trucks up in front. Oh, there's the stack up off turn 2. 4 wide down to the bottom went Musgrave. He's picking up not that many spots out of this, but passed a lot of the lap trucks. Slide job getting into 3 as he clears Darnell for 11th. Goes from 16th to 11th in a full straightaway. Allows Todd Bodine to catch to the back of the pack as well. Nearly. Not quite there. Closer. Needs them to be even closer than this, though. Knowing that a lot of those trucks were lapped down, this goes to show that, again, if there's any way for Bodine to keep up with this pack, which I don't think is going to be possible with the damage, but there is a chance. He can still gain some positions and try to salvage the points deficit he is more than likely going to be facing. We don't know where Ron Hornaday is. He was the dominant truck of the field today, but having the problems he has had, don't think he's going to really have much of a chance to try to win this race. Although at the start, it was definitely looking like Hornaday's race to lose, but a caution in the middle of green flag pit stops really hurt him. Big dive into turn 3 for Ted Musgrave. He's making passes, though. But again, a lot of them are trucks that were already a lap down. Side drafts to 101. Musgrave just ran his fastest lap of the day that last time. Got to 38.5. That's not going to help. Pretty bad block by the 153. Top couple trucks pulling away at the front of the field. Might be some lap trucks that have kind of held some of this pack up a little bit, and why they're still so tightly bunched together most of the way through the field. We are down to just 20 laps to go. 3 wide right in front of Musgrave through 1 and 2. 6 truck of David Reagan still got a lot of damage on the back bumper of his race truck. To the inside of Craig Kinzer down the back stretch, getting into 3 and 4. Musgrave's going to be 3 wide. Reagan's still up there on the outside lane. Ted getting a little air loose in the center of the corner with the 191 behind him. Musgrave battles for 10th on the racetrack. Todd Bodine still a little too far away. Really got to be hoping for another stack up. Yeah, Kansas is a pretty good facility, too. How many big hits till I didn't have? I don't know. I'm taking 2 of them, though. That was definitely way bigger than the first hit I took. This truck's indestructible tonight. Scrape. Musgrave still had a shot at the win. I'd probably drive as him the rest of this race because I don't think Bodine's going to be able to catch the back of that pack without them slowing up some. Somewhere in the ballpark of 16 trucks are on the lead lap. Not sure exactly how many. Right around that number. Scrape down on the bottom. This ran his fast lap. 38.470 that last lap for Ted Musgrave. .91 truck a lap down. $15 laps to go at the start-finish line. We'll drive as Todd Bodine the rest of the race. I'm going to try to get Musgrave to slow that pack up some. If there's any way possible for that to happen, so that way Todd Bodine maybe has a possibility of getting some more positions before the end of the race. This will be the worst finish of the season for Ty Bodine. Back-to-back races, he'll have 2 of his worst finishes of the year. 32nd, 33rd. 32nd tied with Daytona with his worst. An 8.2 average finish. It got dropped down to a 10.4 after last night's race, and it's going to be even worse now after this one, and he's going to go from having a 116-point lead and then losing that just in 2 races with 2 finishes outside the top 30 unless catches a big break here at the finish, which I just don't think is going to happen. Need your help, Ted. There we go. Yeah, to have this late in the season really stings even more. Hope that somebody else blows another engine before the end of this race. Any points we could possibly get. 12 to go. There's only 11 to go considering Bodine's a lap down. Yeah, this is upsetting. I mean, there's a chance we fall back to third in points after this race. Not just losing the points lead, but Bobby Hamilton only being 98 points back as well. He was leading earlier. I think Hornaday's still going to lead the most laps today. I know this 178 truck, I think it is leading right now, and he has led pretty much since that caution in the middle of green flag pit stops came out, which would have been the third caution of the day out of the 4. But I just don't think he is going to be able to lead enough to surpass Hornaday in that category. So, looking like a 10 bonus point performance for Hornaday. Although it could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But Ron did lead quite a bit leading up to those green flag pit stops. It was the only reason he had lost the lead and maybe got taken out of a chance to win. Which, I mean, at least that caution benefited us in some way, shape, or form. Been nicer if we were on the lead lap, but I might have been asking for too much. Didn't have the speed today. Oh, there is one truck that is just blowing an engine, and it's Craig Kinzer in the 47. That will be a spot for Todd Bodine. That's 3 more points, and that will put him up to a 32nd place finish, which would be tied for the worst on the year for back-to-back races, but today's finish single-handedly would be the worst of the season for Todd Bodine. I don't think the 178 is the truck that's leading anymore. I think there's somebody else out in front. I can't tell what number that is on the top right-hand corner of the screen. I mean, damage cost us, but we didn't have a top 10 truck either, though. I was running like 12th place settled in before we had the damage. Then we had more damage when I was barely able to keep up with the pack, and I can't even hang on with anybody anymore. Five races to go. Need at least 3 top 5s or 10s. Maybe all top 5s. I mean, we don't know where Hornaday's going to finish. He had speed today. He hasn't had as much speed on the intermediate tracks, but he's really good in the super speedways. Obviously, he won Daytona to start the season, so Talladega in the season finale should be a good track for him. And then he's really good at Martinsville. He finished second there, led a lot of laps, so we beat him late. But the short tracks is where I've thrived on this Truck Series season. So Martinsville is definitely a race I have circled that I need to run well, but I also know Hornaday is going to run well in that race as well. Four to go at the line. It's the 139 of Van Dyke. That's who's leading right now? I think the 178 just took the lead again. Actually, it might not even be the one. Is that the 116? I don't think it's the 178 either. I think it might be the 116 truck. It's so tough to tell how blurry track map is. It's a little more clear for you guys than what it is for me on my TV too. The way the lighting's set up on OBS. Makes everything appear a little more visually for you guys. Weather Expert Gaming, thanks for tuning in. Somebody else want to blow a motor here in the last couple laps? Catching one truck, but I think it's Musgrave, and he's on the lead lap anyway. Yeah, lack of focus really right now is why I'm kind of all over the place. I'm able to look at the chat a little more at least. Running by myself with a slow truck. So it's looking like we might have another fantasy driver winning another race this season. If we do get another new winner, it'll be our 8th different winner on the year through the first 15 races out of 20. Chris Parker's in the 116. And I think there's a different driver out in front now. I don't think it's the same one that was leading the last couple laps. Can't tell if that's maybe the 192. I know that's Marvin Sheth, if it is. And he has won a race this season. So this would be a second win. 2 laps to go at the line. Actually, never mind. White flag. 1 lap to go. No lap down. So we will only be finishing 99 laps today. Good thing I led a lap. It was under caution, but I led a lap. It's 5 bonus points. And a 32nd place performance. No green flag laps left for the 3rd consecutive race for Todd Bodine. He has hit a slump, to say the least. Or I guess he led 7 at Texas last night. At 3 of the last 4 races, we have not led any laps. Race is over. So it is locked into a 32nd place finish for Todd Bodine. The only trucks he finished ahead of were 4 drivers that had blown engines. Tonight's race at Michigan. And he will lose the points lead more than likely to Ron Hornaday. Hornaday finishes 3rd, had the fastest truck in the field. He got up there late. Chris Parker in the 116 did win. So Parker gets his first win of the season. Leads 18 laps. Hornaday led the most after starting on the pole. 34 of 100 laps led for Hornaday. That's big for him. He's definitely going to have the points lead. Bobby Hamilton may be second in the standings. He had 5 bonus points today, led 5 laps, finished 4th. Van Dyke ended up second behind Parker, who again won. Jackson finished 5th. Cleveland 6th. Teague 7th. Bill Lester 8th. Irving 9th. And David Reagan rounds out the top 10. Our teammate Ted Musgrave finished 17th, last on the lead lap. So 17 trucks finished on the lead lap in this race. Yeah, 32nd a lap down. That stinks. Led 3 laps all under caution. And the drivers, the 4 of which had DNF'd, would have been Tinkin, Wilson Eubanks, Davis, and Craig Kinzer. 10th of a second margin of victory. 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 39 seconds. Total time of today's race. 136.9 miles per hour average race speed. 4 cautions. 47 lead changes. That is not accurate. We had a lot, but we didn't have that many. Again, this game counts lead changes, even though lead changes only count for when the lead is swapped, in which a different driver leads that following lap. So yeah, that's not accurate for lead changes. I wish it was actually accurate in this game. Be a nice stat to actually know at the end of the race. Because there was that one time at IRP where I led every lap and it still said we had like 4 lead changes. Didn't make any sense. Might have been just a glitch in general. Gotta make sure I muted it. I actually didn't get copyrighted last night. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen again here. Alrighty. Well, Atlanta. Next race. Atlanta, Vegas, Martinsville, California, Talladega are the final 5. 200 miles at Atlanta will be the next race. Next week on the channel. I think I'm going to wrap up the truck series within the next week or so on the channel. just to get to the end of the season because we're so close compared to the other 2 series. And the championship battle's been so back and forth. That's why I keep running these races. So Bodine's still second in points. He didn't drop all the way back to third, although Bobby Hamilton chips away again with another top 5. Goes from 98 back to just 70 back. Bill Lester gained, I think, 10 points total today. Goes from 195 back to 185. So, I mean, Lester's still a long shot, but he might be in it. But 3 drivers within 70 points with 5 races left on our full season points format. Ron Hornaday leads the standings once again. He's led... I think only Hornaday or Bodine have led in points. Hornaday led through the first 8. Then I took the points lead for 2 races. 2 or 3. It was 2 or 3 races I took the lead. And then Hornaday took it back for a race or 2 before he blew the engine at Homestead. And then I took the points lead back for 2 races before losing it tonight. 116 points up 2 races ago, and now we're 65 in the hole. That's crazy. Van Dyke, with the second place finish, moves up to 6th in points. And then our race winner, Parker, actually outside the top 10. Where is he in standings? He's 23rd in points and won at Michigan today. That's insane. Muscare's fallen back to 21st. He did blow a motor, though, last night at Texas. Because I want to say he was right around 15th. Probably would have been 16th. By far, furthest back in points with a win is Chris Parker after winning tonight. Timothy Peters won at Talladega. He's 15th. Marvin Sheff is 12th. Then everybody else with the win is in the top 8. It looks like Good has 4. Bill Lester, Bobby Hamilton, Todd Bodine's got 5, and Hornaday with 2. Or with 1, rather. So that's going to end tonight's stream. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. We got a double header scheduled for tomorrow. Classic race watch along Kansas from last week because that stream got taken down just 10 minutes in. Hopefully we don't have that issue again. 2001 Kansas Cup race will be the Throwback Thursday live stream for tomorrow, followed by our live commentary for the NASCAR Truck Series, which will begin at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Classic Race Watch along our Throwback Thursday live stream will start at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Rest of the live commentary scheduled for the weekend. Again, Trucks tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern. 1:30 Eastern on Saturday for the Xfinity race, and then we'll go live for a pre-race for the Cup Series at 2:30 Eastern on Sunday. See you guys. Have a good one, and thanks for watching once again.